It's Rice Force here, back at you to do another video. And this talk's gonna be, can a transgender person be an actual Christian? So there's all these transgenders popping up all of a sudden. I mean, there's most likely all been some for quite a while, but now with all this advanced technology, they could really alter themselves. Men could actually make themselves look like women, and women could make themselves look like men. I mean, let's think of a transgender. A transgender man, which is a woman. If I was to take a transgender man, take them back in time to the Bible days, they'll be freaked out after realizing that man is actually a woman, or even worse, depending on how you see it, a transgender woman. If I was to introduce it to any character in the Bible, this transgender woman, they'll be like, how is this even possible? It would just be too much. So it's kind of new, but at the same time, there was most likely men that dress up as women in the old days. Women dressing up like men. But can you be a Christian and a transgender? I mean, can you mix water with oil? It don't mix too good, so the short answer is no. You can't be. For example, let's say when God created Adam, he created a man. He created Adam to be a man, and he created Eve to be a woman. What if Adam saw Eve, and he's like, you know what? Her chat's prettier than mine, and she has a prettier voice. I want to be a woman too, God. What if Adam would have actually said that? That could have been the end of the human race before it started. But no, he accepted being a man, so he lived with it. Same thing with Eve. She accepted being a woman, she lived with it. Honestly, I don't know why a woman would want to be a man anyway. Do they really want to all of a sudden have this ugly, deep voice, hair on their face? And also, when you become a transgender man, sometimes you lose hair just like you're a man. So you want to look like a man, you go bald like a man. So that's the consequence of being a transgender man, not accepting who you were, who you're meant to be, who God made you be. Then there's transgender women. You go on YouTube. I'm not going to say any names, put people down, but there's some transgender people that do YouTube videos. Some of these men, they literally look like women when they transition into these women. Well, they're not really women, they're men. I just call them transgender women. They actually do develop breasts, just like a woman does. So over time, it does become hard to tell. You got T to thank for that. Well, T is what the transgender men take to testosterone, and estrogen is what the transgender women take. They call it HRT. So this is a reality. Transgender coming around. And it's becoming a big thing too. I mean, I don't want to put transgender people down. I get it. Some of y'all probably really don't. Some of y'all men out there or transgender women, some of y'all probably really don't want to be men. May y'all have like an abusive father. So you picture that with a man being. So I can understand maybe some transgender woman had an abusive father. They probably had abusive stepfathers. They seen them all beating up their moms. So they're like, you know what? Why would I want to grow up and become a man? I hate men. So they become a transgender woman. That's my take on it. I mean, it's not like that all the time, but I'm pretty sure that's how some of them become transgender women. And maybe some women become transgender men. Think that once they become a transgender man, they'll get big. They could fight off the other men. I don't know. I just never had that thought. So I talk about homosexuality being a sin. It's talked about in the Bible. But the Bible doesn't really talk about being a transgender. Because obviously, you were a man then, you were stuck being a man. You were a woman back then, you were stuck being a woman. But now this advanced technology, we can literally alter ourselves. In the last video, I talked about the advance and all this advance in technology being predicted in the book of Daniel. I believe the time's near. Another bad thing about these transgender people, it could mess with you mentally. Let's say you're like a guy. You're a Christian guy. You meet a woman. You fall in love with her. But after a while, you find out that that woman used to be a man. I mean, how would that make you feel? I mean, that would mess you up mentally. I think it would really mess me up if I was really in love with some woman and they turn out to be transgender. I think that would really mess me up mentally. I mean, I'm not really too worried about it though. I'm just pointing it out. There was one of these movies. It was actually a show. Forget what we call the channel. It's been so long. Out here in Jacksonville, it's 111. So if you live in Jacksonville, you know what channel ID. I think the channel's ID. So there's this guy. He was in love with this girl. He goes to her house. He finds out that she is actually a man. So he just snaps and kills her. Or should I say him? So being transgender is also dangerous too. But this book, it tells you a man should be a man and a woman should be a woman. I once pointed out a verse where it say that a man shouldn't wear a woman's garment. So it's right there. A man shouldn't wear a woman's garment. Me personally, if you want to be transgender, I mean, that's your choice. But God, He does have a problem with it. With you being transgender. I don't have a problem with it. As long as you don't try to date me. I do not have a problem with it. Because even if I was actually attracted to a transgender woman, I mean, I couldn't go through with it. Because that is actually a man. So, and that would make me a homosexual. So I would be sinning against God if I was being with a transgender woman. So as a Christian, I can never date a transgender woman and still call myself a Christian. And I certainly couldn't marry one. And I can't reproduce. They can't reproduce either. I can't reproduce with a transgender. So even nature tells you that it can't be done. So that right there should tell you that you shouldn't be a transgender, or you shouldn't date one either. I mean, you could be a transgender, you call yourself a Christian, but at the end of the day, you're really not a real Christian if you're a transgender. So I just wanted to point that out. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. And if there's ever a topic you want me to go over, let me know.